Hello, my name is Jabari Long of Long Realty Group in Detroit, Michigan. My company assists its clients in their acquisition and liquidation needs. Detroit is one of the nation's leaders in foreclosures, and because of that, we're attracting a lot of local, national, and international investors. Behind me is a property that I've located for one of my international investors. He recently closed on this property with me, and because he is a distance away, he's elected for me and my company to oversee the renovations and repairs to bring this property to a rentable state. Since I have extensive experience in project management and dealing with contractors and reliable repair people, this property is something that we can get renovated from start to finish in less than 7 days. Wouldn't say this property needs extensive rehab, but some of the core things it does need to be replaced. So we're going to look at the exterior of the property first, and then we're going to go on the inside to see what needs to be done on the inside. One thing we focus on is curb appeal. This property has two nice hedges that once we finish with this project, we'll trim, and the lawn we'll make sure it's cut and finally manicured so that it gives the curb appeal that makes a renter or even potentially a homeowner want to live in this property. As we're looking at the roof in the front of the house, you can see that the roof doesn't really look new, and it looks a little worn, but once we get around the back, you can see that it absolutely needs to be replaced. For security purposes, well, of course we're going to install a security door. As you can see here, the side door, the door is in place, but it needs actually a security storm door, so we're going to install one of those. And if you can see the side, there's a tarp that's going to go from the back half of the roof. Roof needs to be totally replaced. We're going to strip it, take up all the old shingles, break it down to the bare wood, replace any of the damaged wood that may be damaged because of the water, and then paper it and resheet it with dimensional shingles. It'll look real nice once we get done. And that absolutely needs to be done first before we go inside to do any repairs with the drywall or the ceilings, because if the water comes back in, it'll be damaged again. We're going to absolutely have to chop these trees up and remove the debris and the shavings of the tree so that the backyard can be usable. See, we got a deep backyard, but right now it's not usable. Now we're just stepping into the inside of the house. This would be the living room. Another reason why I chose this property is because it doesn't need a whole lot of work. The roof is probably the most extensive repair. Whoever had this property previously recently did some painting and some upgrades, so that stuff doesn't need to be replaced. So this room right here is not a room that we're going to paint because it doesn't need to be painted. You see some closets need closet doors. This is thermostat wire that needs to be replaced. The bathroom is pretty adequate. We're going to replace the vanity and maybe put some stick-on tile on the floor and clean it up a little bit, but everything is functional: the toilet, the vanity, and the medicine cabinet. The next room here is where the bulk of the damage from the roof leaking was done. This entire ceiling is going to be replaced, new drywall after the roof has been completed, of course, and the walls will be scraped and painted, and this entire room will be painted one color. So this is what happens when you got the deferred maintenance on the roof. Water comes in. Also, you have a buckled floor right here. You can see the hump in the floor, and this is directly due to the water that was seeping into the property. Closet door needs to be rehung. Couple light bulbs, but this is probably the easiest part of the house. Actually, it's pretty up to the standards where it's usable. We're in the kitchen, which is probably the most looked at room in the house. The previous people that lived here, they got new stick-on tile on the floor, which we're going to leave in place because it's adequate. It's not peeling up in any areas. The cabinets are new, but they are adequate. So what we do is dress them up a little bit with some handles to just make them look a little bit more modern and a little bit more appealing. The sink is good. It needs a faucet, which we're going to replace, and a new light fixture, because that pull chain light is more so suitable for the basement. We're going to put a nice light fixture up there to make the kitchen more inviting and appealing. Now we'll go into the basement. When I spoke when we were outside about the theft and the security factor when renovating these homes, this property was broken into at some point in time, and the plumbing was taken out. So we're going to come back in and replace all the plumbing with PEX plumbing, which is not attractive to thieves because it has no resale value. What they probably came in here to take was copper plumbing. Also, one thing that has value as well is the copper that's in a lot of these lines, and that's in some portions of the electrical panel that was taken out this property. So before we can get the lights on here, we have to have our electrician come in. She'll be in later today to install a 100-amp breaker box, so that the property actually gets the power from the city so we can have lights. I said we don't have electricity, so that means we don't have gas. We are unable at this point to test the furnace to see if it is actually functioning properly. So once we have the lights and the gas cut on, then we'll test the furnace and see if it's something that can be fixed or we need to replace it. See, someone has also relieved us of our hot water tank. So when the plumber comes in to replace all these galvanized plumbing lines with PEX, they also put a new 40-gallon hot water tank in there, so everything will be pressurized, and the tenants or the occupants will have good water pressure and hot water in the property. Over here is the laundry tub. You can see it's kind of ancient. We're going to replace that with one of the ones that are a little bit more modern, plastic, a little lighter, and just more user-friendly. So all these galvanized plumbing lines will be replaced with PEX plumbing. Just showed you guys the inside and outside of this property. We're about to begin renovations, which will be completed from start to finish in less than 7 days.